Hello, everybody. Hi, welcome to the Kathie J Show. I'm Kathie J. It's so nice to see all of you guys. I thank you every day for hanging out with us. Any chance that we get to hang out together is a treat for me, so thank you for doing it. And also, if you want more Kathie J, you can have me anytime. Just go to KathieJShow.com. You can catch all of our past episodes, as well as our YouTube channel, Kathie J. Like it, subscribe, and get with us and keep those conversations moving. Today, speaking of conversations, we're talking about love, everybody. Okay, so it can be difficult to find love, or if you found it, it's difficult to hold on to it and not resent that person and want to kill them in their sleep. So my guest today is here to help with all of the above. In fact, she wrote the book, The 4 Intimacy Styles, the key to lasting physical intimacy. You actually probably were going to recognize her. This is Dr. Viviana Coles, everybody.
Hi, Kathie. Hi, everybody.
I'm so glad you're here.
I'm so glad to be here.
I love your title, America's Intimacy Expert.
Oh yeah, well, I'm trying to live up to it.
Yeah, no, you really are. You're amazing. Your advice is amazing. So I can't wait to get it out to everybody out there. So tell us a little bit about you really fast. How did you start becoming, you're a psychotherapist, correct?
I'm a psychotherapist, so I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and a certified sex therapist.
Yeah.
I have my doctorate in marriage and family therapy. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm all those other things.
Yeah, you are those
too.
other things, right.
Business owner, and I'm just always trying to be involved with projects that are fun, exciting, that keep me energized about the field.
Oh no, you're great. So you came out of Houston. That's where you're based in, right?
Born and raised in Houston. I still live there. My whole family's there. I'm not leaving.
That's right. Don't try to get her to move. She's not moving.
No.
When did you realize you had a gift for helping people get through one of the hardest things in life?
It sounds kind of crazy, but I was in high school.
What?
My
all your friends, all your girls came to you. Help
they
me,
did.
Viv, what's going on?
They did, and
you're like,
out
he
there.
doesn't like you. He's just using you. Keep moving.
Yeah. Well, it just seems like I was always, from a young age, I have really good examples of love and intimacy in my personal life.
That's good.
So I've always kind of strived for that and wanted that, and so romantic lives and all that was always very interesting to me. I've always known that I wanted to be in a romantic relationship. I was the girl who had a crush on since kindergarten, and then again.
That was you?
That was me.
Yeah, you were using every guy's last name with your name. Viviana Thompson. So you love love.
I love love, and so I'm always talking about it. And I
so
wanted to do something that I knew would help others, that was flexible.
Yes.
And being in private practice is very flexible. I'm so fortunate.
Yeah, right.
So being a clinician, and even through the pandemic, even through everything in the past 20 years of practicing, I've realized this is what I want to do, because I can do it in so many ways, like being here today.
Yeah, no, for real. And you help so many different people. You help the ones that have families. You help ones that are single. You help ones that haven't been out in a while, right?
Yes. Need to take off that robe.
Come on. Your private practice, are you seeing a big increase since COVID happened?
I have seen it's pretty steadily increasing, but I think it's more about people becoming aware that mental health is just as important as physical health.
So important, right? If you're not right up here, you don't want to give love to anybody because you're not even giving it to yourself.
Exactly.
Right. So when we come back, we're going to talk more about giving love.
Kathie J.
Oakwood Homes is an official partner of the Kathie J Show. Oakwood Homes, building happiness. Welcome back to the Kathie J Show, everybody. Dr. Viv is here. Dr. Viviana Coles is here. She's the author of The 4 Intimacy Styles, and she's also, you might recognize her from Married at First Sight. Yay, you've been on there helping some of the, man, there have been some cases that you've had to deal with. I tell you what, but you've been on there since season 9.
Yes, season 9
awesome.
through 14.
That was a good time for you.
It was amazing.
Yeah,
the most amazing, especially first time on national TV.
Yeah.
The experience, I couldn't have made it any better.
Well, I give you props for every outfit you wore, because you look beautiful and everything, but I really love how it's the words that you change. I love how the couples would be fighting about something, and it was, what I found is miscommunication happens so easy.
It does.
And you would just change one word in how a sentence was said, And all of a sudden, love was the emotion that came with that sentence. Like, it is so incredible how you've learned how we react to each other.
Well, language and the terminology that you use and the phrases that you use.
Yes.
This is what I do with clients too. It's funny because I'll have people who say, I've been saying that to him.
Right, forever.
I've been saying that to
Right.
her forever. But it's the way that you say it and changing things around that are inviting.
Yes, right. Instead of accusing.
Exactly.
Right, absolutely. Okay, so the concept of your book
Yes.
for intimacy styles, where did it come from?
Okay, so it came from right here. No, it really did. It really did. But actually, it, more than anything, came out from patterns of behaviors that I was seeing in my clients. I've been seeing clients since 2003.
Wow.
So, but in the last 10 or so years, I started really trying to find and taking notes on, okay, this is why they think sex is important. This is why she thinks sex is important.
Yes.
And that motivation to have physical intimacy with their partners were things that I was starting to notice that they would fit in categories.
Because that's also miscommunication.
It
The
is.
way that I would approach relations versus someone else.
And
Right.
the why. The
And the
why
why,
is what's
right.
so important. Because I would ask so many of my couples, do you think sex is important in a relationship?
Yes.
And they say, yes, definitely. Why? Well, because it's
Because
what
it
you're
is,
supposed
right,
to do.
Right, it's just supposed to be a perk.
I'm like, well, there's a lot of things we're supposed to do
Yeah.
that we don't do.
True.
So let's figure out the why it's important for you in particular to do this with your partner. And of course, I'm seeing clients who are on the verge of divorce, who are alienated.
you totally
who-
do,
I mean,
yes.
all of these things that I want to help them avoid. And so I thought, okay, well, if I can help people understand the why, and then help them to understand how if they round out their intimacy style, if they have, ideally
Yes, right.
25% of bonding, release, giving, and responsive in every sexual experience, they are more likely to be satisfied and satisfying to their partner
and I tried
forever.
I tried to tell my ex-boyfriend that all the time. Like, this should go both ways.
It does. And I feel like
it'd
it
be
needs
better for all of us.
It would.
And-
And that's the whole point, is if you can get to a place where you can understand the why it's important,
Right.
it helps you to stay motivated and inspired.
Okay, so here's the thing, Dr. Viv. So I went online. So you can go online, everybody, and take the intimacy style quiz right
Yes.
now. Just go to drviviana.com.
Yep.
And I went and took it. And so I'm 44% bonding.
Ooh,
Okay,
okay.
so that means it was something about I like to do that.
Yes.
But I also really go there and want to connect with the person, right?
Yes. So what that usually means is that you feel bonded to someone through
That,
sexuality.
right.
Through physical
And you know
intimacy.
what? And I got that wrong so much as a girl. I gave it away to things people I shouldn't have done because I thought that was how the acceptance was happening.
Yeah.
So that totally makes sense that I'm a bonder.
Yeah. So, but what it does
Wouldn't
mean
you
though,
like to be a bonder too?
what it does mean though is that if you can experience a little less and put more into the giving, release, and responsive, then you're going to have a more well-rounded experience overall, and it's going to be healthier long term.
Yes.
Look, there are lots of fun sexual activities that we can explore and dive into, but I'm talking about for long term,
Yep.
wanting to stay satisfied and connected for the long run. Lots of people can handle 2, 3, 4 years.
Yes.
I'm talking about 40 years.
And you are so right. So when we come back, everybody, we're just getting started with this conversation. She's going to explain to us how we get that intimacy for the long years. We'll be back.
Kathie J.
Ramos Law is an official partner of the Kathie J Show. He's a medical doctor and a lawyer. Ramos Law, what makes us different makes us better.
Kathie J.
And welcome back to the Kathie J Show. Woo, I'm so excited today, hanging out with America's intimacy expert, everybody. This is Dr. Viviana Coles. Thank you for being here. This is her book, everybody, The 4 Intimacy Styles. You can get this book on her website, drviviana.com, and you can find out what kind of intimacy style you are. I'm bonding. We were just talking about that. But it's kind of, you want people to start with knowing their intimacy style so they can get into a real know what intimacy is in their relationship, right?
It's all about satisfaction.
Yes.
And I say it in the book, I want you to want to have sex.
Yeah.
Okay, because
So
so
many
many
people
people,
don't.
they don't.
It's a
or
chore.
They don't, or they become okay with, we're not going to go there, which sounds good because you're on the same page, but your bodies will tell you different things.
You're so right.
And you're going to be fighting it at different times, and then there's resentment and all that.
Yes.
Most people do not get into relationships, monogamous long-term relationships, to not have sex.
Right. You're absolutely
But
right.
they find themselves there.
Because
and
it
you're not
happens.
alone if that's the case.
And I know I have girls, the longer you go without, you worry that you're going to get used to that, and then all of a sudden that becomes your norm, and and he's not happy that that's happening, but some of my girlfriends have adjusted to that's their life. And I'm like, no, your body wants it. So I'm so glad you just said that.
And that does have a lot to do, especially more of a struggle for women, I think, in general, who are moms, because we do spend so much time with our bodies not really feeling our own, and especially postpartum. If you've experienced that, there's
last
just
thing
this,
I want to feel is any of that after.
just but being touched out.
Right,
it's a real
right.
thing, and so we know how to cope with that. And we also don't go around, especially in public, thinking about how hot and like aroused we could be.
Yes, right.
Because we think it's inappropriate.
Right.
Which, if you're around a bunch of kids, it probably just doesn't work.
It
There's
doesn't
not
work,
that
right.
cognitive, like.
Yeah, you're right. And guys
so-
can't get that through their head. This is not the time or place. I'm thinking of other things.
Yes.
Intimacy style does change over the years, right? So you could be this one time, but is that why you always have to have open communication with your partner?
Well, it doesn't even have to be something that you talk about with your partner if
Really?
you don't want to, because what I'm asking you to do is embody all four. If you can embody all four, preferably around 25% each,
Yes.
then you're going to be taken care of, and your partner's going to be taken care of.
Okay, so
does that make sense?
Yes. So the fact that my quiz only listed 3, because it was like 44%, and then the other 2 were in there. So I need to work on go back and look at the quiz and see what the other fourth
Take
one
the
was.
quiz like every 3 to 6 months or so.
That's cool. Okay.
It's free. It's out there. Just do it.
Yeah.
Because then what you can find out is, and of course the book has tons of ideas on how you can, do more of each one. But take the quiz as often as you need to.
I could do that. So intimacy, one of the things that you said in your book is, remember, intimacy isn't just the relations. It's not just physical. Like intimacy is.
It's emotional.
Yes, right. And you're having your people say things to each other that make you blush. They're your deepest, darkest secrets, and you want us to communicate it to the person we love, but we don't like to do that.
Do you? Do you not like talking?
Oh, no, you know what? I think there's different levels, which you addressed in your book. There's the levels of, hey, I like that. And then there's the levels of, it would be really nice if we could maybe, there's different levels of the intimacy that you speak on.
Well, and just like with anything else, I think it's really important to make sure that you are sharing what you do like, not so much complaining about what you don't like.
People get nervous if they say what they really want.
And that's where maybe seeing a sex therapist could help.
Okay, right. And don't judge if someone comes at you, right? That's the biggest thing you also say as well. If your partner is willing to share with you,
that's a gift.
Don't shoot it down.
And that's a privilege, because they're really not talking about that with anyone else. I think it's also important for you to understand that there might be an initial reaction, like wait, you into what?
Right, what's happening?
And that's okay. You need to be ready for that. And say why you're into something, why it makes you feel good, why it's something that you're into.
I love how that grin you do. Why you like that? Why it feels good. I wanted to ask you. One of my girlfriends wanted me to know, when you're dating someone, is it really important to share with you the number?
I think if somebody's asking the number, you need to ask them why they think that that's important to know.
Okay, so
what it is that it would delineate, right?
I just want to know. I just want to know why. How many have you been with?
Okay, so I would then ask you, so you want to know why. Is it because you want to do some sort of comparison? Are you thinking that it might be something intimidating? Are you hoping that you'll be one of very few to compare to?
Okay.
What is it that you're worried about?
All of those questions you just asked, the answers wouldn't be good. So maybe you just don't ask. Is that kind of...
I think you have to be really sure about why. I mean, is it because you're worried about possible STI exposure?
Okay,
well, then
I get that.
That can happen
different.
whether you've been with one person or 101 people.
Yeah, you're right.
So you need to get checked out.
Yes, use your protection when you're doing that, everybody.
Especially if you're going to try to use that number against them, or if you're saying, oh, well, you've had twice as many partners as I've had, I am now less than as far as my skills and abilities to help you.
See, and that's why you don't want to know the number, whether it's good or bad, I think.
It sounds like after talking to you, maybe you just don't need to share that.
And it's okay to lie about your number, right?
No, it's never okay to lie.
I'm lying about my number. I don't, raise your hand if you're going to lie about your number. But you know what? I also want to know, back to the long-term relationships. You've been in a relationship for 15 years. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How do you keep the intimacy going? Because you fall into partnerships after a while.
Which is a good thing, because we do want to live this life if we picked somebody in a partnership.
Yes.
I will tell you, just like with everyone else, because I am human, I am not a robot, that there have been times where we've struggled. And it's about keeping it at top of mind and making sure that even though maybe I'm traveling a lot, you know, illness, whatever it is, that I'm letting my partner know I do care, even if we're apart, even if it's not happening for whatever reason, even if it's not that I have forgotten about it. And vice versa.
That's very important to say, because some people just go, shh, let's just not talk about it.
Let's
and
not
it just
talk
goes
about
away.
it. Well, what ends up happening is that then it gets weirder and weirder and more awkward to approach it, and then they do end up needing to seek counseling services, which are totally available.
Yes,
I see clients virtually.
I know, but don't get to that point if you can avoid it. So coming up after the break, everybody, I have some last burning questions. Why did you write that, producer Colleen? Some last burning questions for Dr. Viv. We'll be back.
As long as
Kathie J.
The Colorado Lottery is an official partner of the Kathie J Show. Colorado Lottery, play on.
Kathie J.
Welcome back to the Kathie J Show, everybody. So I want to read this book. This is Dr. Viv, everybody. Dr. Viviana Coles. She is, you might recognize her from Married at First Sight, but Dr. Viv has her own book, everybody, and it's called The 4 Intimacy Styles. And there's a quiz that you can take online at drviviana.com to find out what intimacy style you are. But I got to tell you, this book is amazing. There's so many good points in this to help everybody out there. This is one of my favorite quotes. Sex is the route they travel, but intimacy is the destination. And I think that's right. We all want to we jump to the sex and we don't understand the importance of connecting with that person on a deeper level.
again, you know, knowing the why behind any behavior is the key to keeping it more consistent.
Yeah.
Right? And to understanding how to switch things up if you get off track.
Yeah, because we all get off track. Life throws us off track.
It really does.
And so you said one more time, once you know your intimacy style, if it's important to start building the intimacy with your partner.
It's even more important to round it out. So
I like that.
It's unlike an amazing tool. If you don't know about it, you've been under a rock. Back in 1992, the 5 love languages came out.
Yes, right.
Okay, and this is the key to emotional intimacy, lasting emotional intimacy. I love it. I love it. I tell everybody about it. There's a big difference, though, because with the 5 love languages, you speak a love language and you want your partner to learn how to speak it back to you.
Right.
With this, I'm not asking you to keep the same thing. I'm asking you to do all 4. So it's not like you're not just going to do things one way, because when it comes to intimacy, it is way too difficult to change why and how you experience sexual pleasure,
right,
and what it means to you and all of that. So if you can just try to round out your intimacy style, have about 25% of each, then you can check off the box forever.
No, and that's wonderful. And she was just telling me I got to work on my release style, but that's fine. I can do that. You take the quiz every 3 to 6 months. Now, tell me, what if both people know their intimacy style, what's their future going to be?
If they're both actively, as individuals and together, trying to round it out and kind of bring in and incorporate, release, bonding, responsive, and giving into each one of those experiences, it's not just about the quantity, it's the quality.
Yeah, no, it's
and that quality will be satisfying for the long term.
Yes.
Again, this is about the long term. This isn't about a little quickie here and there.
Right, everybody's fine. You can get your quickies whenever you want. So you are here in town in Denver because you're here for a book tour, for the book tour, everybody.
It's amazing.
Yay.
It's amazing. Last night we had an amazing event over at the Moxie in Denver, Cherry Creek. Tonight
you're going to be with Urban Seductress.
Yes.
I love that girl. We wanted her on for Mother's Day, but we'll get her on eventually.
Oh, you have to. Her energy is infectious. I am going to be pulling out all the stops for her. She's encouraging me to own my sexy, own your sexy, and we're doing it tonight.
So we will be able to watch you in your heels doing the urban seductress sexy moves tonight. Is that right? Is that what you're saying?
Freaking me out. Yes, yes.
You gotta
I am
do
going
it.
to, I'm not just going to talk the talk, I'm going to walk the walk.
That's awesome because you work on a lot of this kind of work with
I
the intimacy.
do.
This tonight, the urban seductress is going to have you
Working on
feeling
me.
yourself. Exactly.
Yes, and a bunch of other really great people who are going to join us. I'm super duper excited. I want everyone to join us. It's at GVM Studios.
Yes.
From 6 to 8, we'll have a book signing, photo op, and a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you don't have to be in heels because she invited me. You know, I just broke my leg.
Yes.
She was like, "Wear your tennis shoes, Kathie. It's
Wear
about
your
your
tennis
body
shoes."
moving
Yes.
and you feeling it." So everybody, please go and check out Dr. Viv. drviviana.com is where you can get your own copy of the book. It's the 4 intimacy styles. Yay! The key to lasting physical intimacy. Now, people were wondering if you'd give us any hints on where you're going next, Dr. Viv. You come on. Any hints? Any hints? Are you still going to be helping all of us? some
I am,
way?
yes, I'm
Okay.
absolutely, that is my life mission, so it
Good.
should be very exciting. I can't say anything yet. I can't. Next book tour stop, I've told everybody, I've given some hints. So when you get out, we're going to go to
Okay,
the
okay,
comments
all right.
and they're going to comment
Okay.
about my next book tour stop because I haven't announced it yet, but I will.
So keep following Dr. Viv on social media and we'll find out where she goes. Everyone have a great day and remember intimacy, find your intimacy and enjoy your life better. Thanks, Dr. Viv. Yay!